Hi, my name is Dr. Bruce Miller, and I've had a long career of being very, very successful, thank God. And one thing I invented years ago was a burn medication, and it has now come to light. It's like a hidden treasure that we've lost, but now it's back. I had a first, second, and third degree burn experience from the top of my head to my waist, used my own medication, and the results were remarkable. But here today, I've got two people that I'd like to introduce to you who have similar stories and very excited about the way this product worked on them when they had a burn. Today, I'd like to introduce you to two people, one who's become a friend of mine, Donna Haig, and Billy Troy. Billy, we go back a long time, don't we?
We sure do.
Yeah.
Many, many years.
I'm telling you. And the unique thing about this interview today is, Billy, you were the first one that actually used this formulation for a burn.
Yes, totally accidentally, and it was kind of an amazing situation, actually. I was visiting you,
Right.
and it was on a 4th of July several years ago, and we were shooting fireworks. I was lighting fireworks, Roman candles, sparklers, all those kind of things, and after a while, my thumb evidently had gotten some gunpowder on it, and so when I had lit one of the other sparklers or something, it lit my thumb on fire, literally on fire. I mean, I'm standing here with my thumb on fire.
I remember.
And it was not very fun. And I had to run a good ways to get to your pool and dunk my thumb in it, but it was killing me. And you said, "Hang on a second, I just started putting something together," and I said, "Oh, well, hurry!" I was in a lot of pain, and he went and got something, and he came back and put it all over my thumb, and he said, "Keep this on there overnight," and that's what I did. And the next morning when I took it off, the pain was gone. You could not tell I had any kind of a burn, and that was the beginning, I believe, very early stages for you when you knew you had something.
It was, Billy, and I think it was around 1983 or so. It goes back that
It
far.
was. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, this formulation has been in the works for a long time. You know, it started off as a cold sore medication.
Right.
And we had a big office in Houston, Texas, called Viratex.
Right.
And we worked with viruses, and it took like 4 scientists to figure out what me, a chiropractor, knows nothing about chemistry to begin with, except basic things, what I had put together that actually worked and came together and had some action in it, which everybody can appreciate if they watch the history of the burn story. It tells about Dr. Cronenthal, who was J&J's head chemist for 22 years. And he's actually the one that found out why it worked on your thumb. But
it sure did.
Yeah.
I mean, I've told the story for many years to people out there. And I said, "You wouldn't believe what happened to me. My thumb was on fire, and the next day it was nothing there. I mean, it was amazing."
Well, that should have been a wake-up call for me, because I was going to viruses because we were getting great results on cold sores.
Right.
People were even dragging it downstairs for HSV2, and it was working. It was working really, really good. And we did about 8 years of research in the University of Alabama, and that's where we did a lot of our studies. And it really, really worked good. And then we sold it to a pharmaceutical company 8 years later. And they still had enough time. And from that one patent that's now gone because it's past the 20-year mark, from that one patent, they created 11 more patents and actually created a drug transfer system into the skin. So it had a great beginning. And then, again, Billy, that should have been a clue. I should have remembered it worked for burns. My dad's in Alaska, and he's in a motorhome. And all of a sudden, banging on the door, and it was the lady next to her, had stuck her hand in hot boiling water and pulled it out, and it was just awful. And she was crying and said, "Have you got anything for burns?" And my dad said, "I don't know. My son created something that works for pain. Maybe let's try it." So he put it on her hand, and Billy, the next day was just like your story. The pain went away immediately. There was no redness the next day. It was gone.
It's
And
amazing.
It was way past a first-degree burn.
Until you see it for yourself, it's hard to
I
believe.
know. But once you experience it, it's, oh my God,
It's
this
really-
stuff is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it went on, and in 2011, we had opened a company, crazy me. It was great for burns, so what did I do, ADD? Let's see what kind of makeup we can get out of this. If it's that great for burnt skin, what's it going to do for normal skin? So I was in Costa Rica, so the laboratory I went to, we created an anti-age formulation. And the company was a multi-level company, 95% fail. We had the wrong people in the wrong place. It was sad that it failed because we had 70,000 people trying to sign into the company and couldn't do it because the back office and the computer things were no good.
Oh.
So it failed. And so I didn't think that we would actually bring it back out again because it was kind of frustrating until Donna. Donna has an amazing story. And Donna, I'd like for you to tell the story. Start first when you were 4 years old.
All right. Well, back in '61, when I was 4, a barbecue caught on fire. And I happened to be there and got the brunt of it. 85% of my body was third-degree burns. The rest was first and second. But, back then, the treatment for burns is definitely different than it is today. But I went through such pain and such tremendous, being humiliated because of my scars and looking different. Going to school and looking like a freak. And
What was your first day of school like?
they were all like first days. I mean, you never knew what was coming at you that day. I got to spend my time with the kids that had problems as well as I did. So it was. I met the most wonderful people. People should never be judged by what they look like, and so it's taught me a lot as far as that goes. As far as having the appearance of looking different. But more on top of it is that I didn't know how to deal with the scars. I didn't know how to, I'm just told this is this is the way it is. And could never really relate my pain to anybody. How could they? I mean, it was
Right.
totally indescribable. And so it's, it's been a lifetime of kind of an experiment. After having 3 kids and after being told I really couldn't have any kids,
Right.
going through that. And just then, my body expanding from getting bigger and being trapped in it because of the scars.
Right.
And then trying to keep it on the thinner side so that I can move because I've got such limitations with constrictures and
Right.
contractions and such.
Let's go back. You were 4 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Every single moment of it. Yeah, for the most part, there was a barbecue that was being lit, and a breeze came up, and the ball of fire came at the garage and hit me and just engulfed me. And my dad came running out of the garage and covered me with an oilcloth tablecloth. Mm-hmm. And which was fine. I couldn't figure out why he was tackling me, but, things that go through your head when you're 4. But the really upset me because the paramedics or firefighters, whoever got there first, took me into my sister's room. And I was like, why are they taking me into my sister's room? I didn't realize what had really happened.
You were in shock, of course.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking like a 4-year-old, why am I in my sister's room? But the worst part is here's these guys. They're cutting my clothes off. They're cutting this thing off me. And it's like, why are my parents letting them cut my clothes off? And I sort of blacked out and passed out. But I came to at the hospital. And the hospital where I was at, I just remember it vividly with the green walls and the chicken wire in the glass. And I remember looking down and going, why are they not over here with me?
An out-of-body experience.
Yeah, I
Really?
was waiting for that. Why are they talking? Why are they talking over there? They should be paying attention to me. And I remember screaming. And next thing I knew, they were there. But I was told later that I couldn't scream, that I was too swollen and nothing worked. I couldn't scream. So I guess something brought them back to me. But they basically couldn't give me the treatment I needed there, so I went to Stanford Hospital. And when I got there, I was basically put into isolation, and nobody could come in unless they were totally gowned up. And they said, basically gather the family, that I wouldn't. My survival rate was so low, so it was just a matter of time.
So they told you to bring or told your parents to
Yeah.
bring the family and that
Yeah.
you weren't going to make it.
Yeah.
But you did.
Yeah,
And here you are.
I guess I was feisty enough to
Yeah.
show them. So yeah,
Which brings us back to the point I left off, where we had a product that was an
Yes.
anti-age.
yes,
And my son, Wayne Miller, who is part of the founders of the Unburned Charity Foundation as well, he really is a big help to me. He got a phone call,
yes, he did.
yeah, and it was quite emotional.
Oh yes, it was.
Would you take us back to that moment that you called my son?
Oh my God. Well, a friend of mine, through this cosmetic company that I had known, she knows a burn survivor. And she goes, you got to try these samples. This new company's coming out. You got to try these samples. And it's for burns, but it's an anti-aging cream. But, it was from a burn cream. You got to watch the video. I'm going to send you the link, and I'm going to get you some samples, and you got to try this. And I'm going, oh, God. Another one. I've tried so many of these that promise,
Right.
we'll get rid of your old scars. We can take, like you never had them. Yeah, not true. But this was different. I used it. I used the process on my face, and I was in tears. It was just so different. It took the color, it took the redness out of my face enough that I didn't mind going out of the house without makeup on.
And I remember Wayne telling me about this conversation. And he said, that's exactly what he told me. He said that you related to him that normally that you had to just cake makeup on or you wouldn't go out. And after you started using this product, you felt comfortable enough to go out.
I could wear normal makeup. It got to the point where it was, my ridges were getting lower. The redness was going. It was treating some of the areas that were so sore and difficult, and always stretching and stuff. And
Right.
it was a godsend. It reminded me of the time where I think had to be about 18, and I went to Los Angeles to be made up professionally, so that they could show me how to apply theatrical makeup so that I could fit in. They're just making it invisible. They're making me look like a real person. I just cried. I mean, that can't be me. I've lived too long with this skin. I know what it looks like. That can't be me. But every morning I get up, and I'm the one that has to either take care of it in some way and care for it, or cover it, or deal with the ongoing issues of pain. But I mean, to see myself normal, I didn't know what that was. I've been 4 years old, and I never knew what normal was. I mean, people take it for granted.
Yeah, they do.
But to have that again, to feel I didn't have to cover it. So, yeah, then it went away.
Yeah, then it went away. The company went away. Sorry about that.
Yeah, by the way.
But now it's back.
Yeah.
And I remember you were so happy that my son and I got a hold of you again.
Yes.
And we did have product, and then we got it sent over to you.
Yeah.
And I could hear the other end of the phone, the jubilee feeling that you were having because you're going to be able to use it again.
Yes.
And that was just not too long ago. So.
No. Just the difference between, last week and, meeting you now has just been I took pictures, and it's just the difference you can see in what has happened, the transformation that's taken. A lot of people they don't pay attention. You don't pay attention to everybody's little,
Right.
whatever. And I mean, it makes me feel different. It makes me feel better. It makes me feel, proud to get out of the house or to lift my head, and yeah.
Well, it's so important, just like Billy did. Unfortunately, it wasn't around.
Yeah, where were you in '61?
Right. But it's so important to get this formulation on as quick as possible. And anybody looking at this site can see that in 2005, I had first, second, and third degree burns from here to here.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And I don't want to go over this again because there's a whole video on the website that covers the whole thing, Billy. But
Right.
but just
But
just
it's
for
still
this-
it's an amazing story because
It is.
when you see what he looked like,
Yeah.
and then just a week later he looks so
different.
normal. It's just
Yeah,
like,
normal.
Yeah, just quickly to brief that, when I pulled myself out of the plumbing of that jacuzzi and I took my shirt off and saw all the skin falling off me. I mean, it was just falling off me. It was like my skin had turned to liquid and it was dropping off. And I got burn cream. I've never used it before. I got the patent 2 years ago. I haven't done anything with it. So I went down, I covered myself up. My accountant said, "You're critical, man." I said, "I know." Went down, got in the ambulance, went to the hospital, and then it started. The plastic surgeon comes in. I'll never forget this moment. On the way, I called the head plastic surgeon in Costa Rica. He worked out of SEMA Hospital. It was a beautiful hospital. It's Baylor affiliated, so it was up-to-date equipment. And he comes in the emergency room and he pulls the sheet back and says, "Hey, you got it pretty good, didn't you?" Now, this guy ran a burn unit. And I said, "I want to make a deal with you, Doc." He says, "What?" I said, "You can do anything you want to me. I don't care. But if you order anything topically, it has to be my medicine, not yours. It's your body." So I had to go to the OR room twice, and they just scraped me because if you don't, there's a bacteria that starts and you get a bad infection. So 2 times into the OR room, but every time they brought me back, I put my stuff on. I went home, I put my stuff on. Every 6-7 hours, I put my stuff on. And then 16 days later, I was in his office to schedule 2 skin grafts. You went through skin grafts. Tons of them, right?
Yeah.
One for my neck and one for my abdomen. And you couldn't tell I was burned, Billy.
So you didn't have to have it.
I not only didn't have to have the skin grafts, I thought the plastic surgeon was going to faint. When I walked in there, you could never tell I was burned.
I know.
It was absolutely incredible.
Pictures before and after are, to me, just amazing. I mean,
They
you
are.
couldn't recognize the swollen face and the.
No, I know.
And the skin,
It's
it's
just
just-
absolutely amazing. It's like a hidden treasure that I've done nothing with. I had it the whole time, and now we're going to bring it out. So that's why we decided, who can we help with this? And military is the first thing that came to mind. Because how many burns do they get from their weapons, from the sun,
Right.
and bites, mosquito bites, and the desert bug bites, and anything that, if it itches or if it's a rash and you have to scratch it, or if it's a burn and it hurts, this stuff is just amazing.
I know. I'm sure.
It's amazing. So the concept came out that I would love to use the military as like the postman carrying medicine for not only themselves, because we're going to put it in little ketchup packages
Right.
for their backpacks, easy access. And as they're walking along, there are children that are burnt along the roadside. I mean, the world's on fire right now, literally.
Yes.
And this would be so great for them to be able to help those children on spot. And the nice thing about it, it's my formulation. I got it down to over the counter, so it doesn't have to be a script. So anybody can help anybody,
Right.
which is really, really
that's
good.
amazing.
So that's the goal I have. And if it was only around
Yeah,
when
only.
you were burned, I would love to know what you would look like
Oh,
today
me
as
too.
compared to
Yeah,
what
I
you
know.
have. But I want to congratulate you. I mean, you've really handled this thing very, very well for somebody that was supposed to die.
Yeah.
And 80 call your family in, because that's the last time they're
Yeah.
going to see you,
Yeah.
and then you make it and then go through and had a relatively positive life. Even
Yeah. Yeah.
you've got a lot of scars on the inside too from the kids making fun of you, I'm sure. But
Yeah. But you know, you look back and it's all perspective. at least we finally, grow up and get to a point in age and we realize, what is age-related, children being children.
Right.
And then adolescence,
Right.
that's a tough time.
Yeah.
And then going into, actual adulthood. So your perspective on things, becomes a lot clearer. And you realize that a lot of it was not mean-spirited. It was just ignorance. And,
Exactly.
education
So true.
needs to be done.
That's right.
But there's so much that needs to be done as far as educating the population that is burned on how to care for,
That's so true.
and why we go through some of the pains that we go
Right.
through and what can we do to,
Right.
help it along.
And we're going to teach that. And Donna is going to be on our board. So we're really thrilled about that, Donna, that you've accepted a position on our 501c3 charity.
501c3.
Yes. And Billy, you and I were talking the other night, and your wife too, your lovely wife. She's the key here.
She is.
She's your key anyway,
Yes,
right?
she's my key. Right.
To be able to sponsor an event where people can come and listen to artists like who?
Well, we've got a really nice situation with some really good friends of mine in country music. People like Gene Watson, T.G. Shepherd, Mo Bandy, Johnny Lee. So many of my friends that are really ready to do this because I have put together several shows with them over the last few years, and talking with them about this, they're all excited about being part of it.
Great.
And so we'll be doing some of
Yeah.
that.
And those names you name will probably have to stay around Texas area. Is that?
Well, actually, they go everywhere. So
But
No,
if
but-
there isn't anybody that doesn't know somebody who's been affected by all of
exactly,
this.
and
That's so
and
true.
Especially with the military now.
right. So everybody knows, even all the stars that I'm talking about. They all know someone that needs this kind of thing, and they realize that this is a very unbelievable cause.
Well, anyway, I'm really happy to have you guys here to hear these testimonies. And we're going to have so many testimonies come out of the field from people using this. My dad almost, after he took care of that lady in Alaska, he came back to Tampa where he lives, and he was helping a guy with a lawnmower.
Oh, no.
And a gas can was close to his hand, and went to start the lawnmower, and his hand caught on fire. And we have video of, his hand was black, Billy.
Oh, I know.
And he started using it again, and the doctors couldn't believe how and you can't tell.
It's amazing. Unless you've actually seen it work, it's hard to know how. It feels like, oh, you're exaggerating. No, I'm not
It's like
exaggerating.
an insurance policy, though. You don't need it till you need it.
That's right. That's
you want
right.
to make sure you have it.
Yeah.
But every kitchen should have this.
It
Now,
should.
that's the retail side. When we go retail, I don't know. I'm going to put the formulation out there to help people and to help the military and to help children around the world.
But look at the soldiers returning then. What they're gonna, the benefit they will have. I mean, they come back with, every other problem
Yeah.
from, the tragedies of war.
Yeah.
If this is one more thing that they can, conquer while they're there, and help, I mean, that would be a wonderful thing to be on the front lines and help a child or help
Absolutely.
your next,
Absolutely.
your comrade, to
Right.
help them.
But see, you brought something completely different in. I thought it was only for an acute burn. Use it right away.
Right.
You just told me a story that 54 years after you had 85% of your body burned.
Yeah.
You
I
got-
just need a
you
tub
got
of it,
really-
that's all.
I really want to thank you guys for coming in today and sharing your stories. I mean, it's just such a heartfelt thing to know that we can produce a product that can help people around the world like yourselves and just really have a lot of fun with this.
Yeah.
Billy, you're a singer and songwriter, and isn't there something I hear about a Grammy?
Yes, I've been nominated for several Grammys for my production work in Nashville. But I have written a song for the foundation here, and it's called "There Are Better Days Ahead."
Nice.
What a great theme. Thank you guys so much
Thank you.
for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.